However, for some reason, Steven Crowder decides to not show up and say that he wasn't going to be debating, he was going to reschedule. Why? Who knows? But they never rescheduled for a debate. And it does kind of give the illusion that Steven was giving the workaround Sam not wanting to debate him, right? So I kind of can understand that Ethan might have wanted to kind of put them together because there are people that want to see Sam and Steven debate each other because they are on the opposite sides of the spectrum. And you know, on one side you have this guy who professes to be conservative and who is very much on the talking points of, you know, the Trump supporters and the whatnots. You know, he even has his empty holsters kind of boosting his own image, saying, hey, you know, Second Amendment, look at me, blah, blah. Which, honestly, he just looks ridiculous. I mean, that's just me. It's very much unnecessary. But, anyway. In his series, Steven's series of Change My Mind, I used to watch a few episodes, or not used to, I have watched a few episodes before in the past. The thing is, when he went to the college campuses to debate, he would be talking to, and it's not that they grabbed the students, right? But where he would place himself, and also the types of people that he attracted. Because let's not joke ourselves. Change my mind and putting on an air of arrogance, like, hey, I know more than you. Come on, challenge me. That type of air, you know, that will attract certain people. Now, the people that Steven would be debating, and I put quotation marks around that word, is that they aren't majors in political science. They would be like biology majors or history majors, or, you know, they wouldn't be like experts in politics. But also, he wouldn't be debating people who, you know, just like it's just like if you talk about those who are on the, what's the name, One American News or Newsmax, or, you know, those type of people that they rant on their own political views, but they don't have any foundation or any kind of evidence to support their claims, right? And even if they spout lies, they spout them because they say it's true, and it's true because they say so. There's nothing to it. Well, it's kind of the same here. Except that people with conservative views not having evidence to support their own claims. He's talking about to people who Stephen is talking to was talking to people who, one, again, they aren't as knowledgeable and didn't bring their claims or support to their claims, but also he would be talking to people who aren't debaters, people who don't know how to debate. So of course Stephen would be, you know, boosting his ego and then seeming like, hey, you know, I talk to liberals and they don't know anything, blah blah blah. That, you know, that type of arrogant attitude, that doesn't really work. It doesn't really work to promote a discussion, right? Now, in this, in this time where, you know, Ethan had called Sam Seder and all that. Now, again, I did give Crowder his credit that, okay, he didn't know he was going to be debating Sam Seder, but here's also the thing that kind of nullifies and even puts points against him, against Crowder, Stephen Crowder, you know, is that he prouds himself as being changed my mind and being able to debate on the spot with anyone. That's kind of like the whole premise, right? Well, here's the thing. Stephen Crowder, if you are debating, if you're priding yourself of being able to debate spontaneously with anybody, that would include people who are prepared, people who can debate. So, was it a fair thing for Ethan to call in Sam without Steven's acknowledgement or knowing about this? No, but at the same time, Steven Crowder prides himself as being able to debate anybody spontaneously, improvise, whatever you want to say. Well, he shouldn't have had any issues with debating Sam Seder. Because if Steven's points of view, if his evidence, if his preparation is as good as he says that it is, then it shouldn't really matter. Wouldn't it? Because it would be, again, just like being at a college campus. You don't know if you're talking to a student. You don't know if you will be talking with a professor. You don't know if you will be talking to a politician. You don't know if you would be talking to anyone, a random person who doesn't know anything about politics. Is it likely that in a college campus he'll be attracting the attention of professors for that type of discussion, quote unquote discussion, debate, whatever you want to call it? No, because usually those people do not go into needless, back and forth with people who are just going to, in the end, waste their time. And same here. I mean, maybe, he had expected, Steven had expected to debate Ethan Klein, by saying, and all that. So maybe you wouldn't expect to be debating a second person, but there's always a possibility that somebody else is also present in the studio whom you are going to be debating with. Now, in this case, Sam Seder wasn't in the same studio as Ethan Klein, but still, Steven Crowder should have been able to still debate. So why didn't he debate Sam Seder? Well, maybe Steven Crowder's points aren't as valid as he claims them to be. He's afraid that he's going to just be ridiculed. And not that he's going to be insulted, but because he knows that he can't support his own claims and his own views. He knows that the debate will go wrong because there'll be a point where he can't discuss, or he won't be able to fight back against certain points, which might make him look weak. Steven Crowder looks already weak with what happened. He ran away from a debate, which, he prides himself as being able to debate anybody and being prepared at all times, because if you go into a college campus just like that, it means that you can debate at any time with anyone. This shouldn't have been different. So, Sam Seder and Steven Crowder, they should debate each other. That's what many people want. Will they eventually do it? I don't know. Like I said, I watched the episode from the Minority Report yesterday, which was the 22nd, and a caller rang in and talked to Sam Seder. And the caller, he is a fan of Steven Crowder's, and he said, well, what happened is not right. Sam Seder being called in without Steven Crowder knowing about it. He also wanted to see a debate between Sam Seder and Steven Crowder. He, to his credit, he did admit that maybe Sam Seder wouldn't be able to change his mind, but at least there is the debate, a discussion. This whole partisan, bubble, like everybody in their own bubble that only echoes their own political views, does not help promote healthy discussions that will be, that will reflect on policies. Because what is happening in Congress? You have politicians who are just being partisan and they're not really working together, and they're not willing to work together. And that's the important thing. They are not willing to work together. And even if one side does want to work together, the other one doesn't. And even if some politicians on one side, they do want to work together, the majority of their own party and the majority of the other party are not willing to cooperate. So, I kind of went off topic a little, but it all comes back to the same. You have two different ideas. There should be a discussion, a healthy discussion, a polite discussion. But from what I see, or what I have seen, Steven Crowder ran away, scared of debating somebody who could actually debate him. He then tried to redeem himself through editing and through whatnot, making himself seem like, oh hey, he was there, with his guns that are not in his holsters, and ready to go up blazing, and that Ethan was a coward and blah blah blah. The coward was Steven Crowder. The one who ran away was Steven Crowder. The one who didn't want to debate was Steven Crowder. The one who was disingenuous and did not really want to have a proper debate, because they are the ones who don't have anything to back up their own viewpoints on whatever it is. Steven Crowder. I give this a win to Sam Seder. Again, maybe the whole thing wasn't right about, not letting Steven Crowder know about Sam Seder coming in, but still, Steven Crowder is arrogant and gives an air that he can do any debate, anytime, anywhere, with anyone. This was the time to prove it. He didn't. So, yeah, I think Sam Seder really did change his mind about having a debate. Not just ridicule somebody from the other side of the political spectrum, but actually having a debate. That's all I got to say for now. Bye-bye.